Decided to do a spontaneous Q&A. All right. Bro, is a DBQ the make or break deal for compensation? No, I wouldn't say a make or break. Are they extremely important? Absolutely. Not every CMP examiner is required to do a DBQ. It depends on what the VA's requirements are when they contract it out. If we're talking about private DBQs, those really shine in appeals. But it's definitely, I wouldn't really call it a make or break, but they are extremely important. It just depends on what claim you're talking about. So if you are talking about an appeal, let me know. Maybe I can give you some more context. Let me know what claim you're talking about, and then we can go from there. Yep, zero buff nipple. I am in Hawaii. Okay, absolutely. Not for vacation. I'm here on some work stuff. I'm going through IDES process MEP. Oh, in that case, my advice to people going through a med board is don't worry about the VA at all. Okay. You're going through your med board. You have your Peblo. They're going to be working through. They're like the liaison between you and everything else. Basically what's going to happen is you're going to go to your appointments, go to your CMP exams, and so be it. Okay. So for you, Tyra Brown, I hope I said that right. Your main, in my opinion, I wouldn't really sweat VA disability because it's going to be done for you through your Peblo, and the DBQs are kind of whatever right now, okay? And I definitely wouldn't say for your situation in a med board, they're definitely not make or break. All right. Kaylin Johnson, what's up? What's up? Okay, thank you for coming to the impromptu stream here. We'll get some questions answered. I'm just hanging out. At some point, I'll go eat some dinner. I don't know. Maybe I'll go get dinner, and then I'll bring it back up. Who knows what I'll do. All right, can you get service connected without in-service diagnosis? Absolutely, you can, okay? I've done it myself. There's a lot of factors that this comes down to, though, okay? And so you're not having a diagnosis in service doesn't mean you don't have complaints from service. And if you don't have either, then it becomes a little more tricky, okay? I did it for my lower back and for radiculopathy in both my legs. Ended up being 3 different ratings. Some factors that went into that, though, was my deployment history. Although I never complained, there was definitely reason to believe it came from service. And the time frame. And so I was still within my 1-year window. Now, lumbar strain and radiculopathy are not presumptive conditions at all, okay? But let's say I was to argue lumbar strain and radiculopathy 5 years later, all of a sudden me not having an in-service event becomes a really, really big deal down the road. And so it just matters for you, Kaylin. If you want to give me some more information on that, I'll do my best to give you a solid answer. Hey, thank you. I'm glad I was able to answer your question. That was an easy one, okay? Med boards they suck. They're long. Some are longer than others, okay? But at least the VA process is supposed to be seemingly smooth. I know it kind of sounds weird when I say don't stress about the VA in a med board, but it will happen through an IDES claim. All right, Dell says, still active duty, filed my claim, soon to be out. No ... I don't know if you meant to say anything, but let me know if you've had any CMP exams. I assume you mean you filed your claims on a BDD. Let me know what you filed for, if you have any exams coming up, or if you haven't had any exams at all. If that's the case, you're probably not going to be receiving benefits once you leave service. The VA sometimes, the idea for a BDD claim is to go from DOD paycheck to VA paycheck. Now, obviously, that doesn't happen all the time. There's a lot of factors going into that, like time is one. Another factor is how many things did you claim. Another factor is the VA has a duty to assist. So although you go to a CMP exam, they may have duty to assist to find out more information, maybe add some claims. A good example of that is a lumbar strain in radiculopathy. All right. I have 10 claims I want to file. Okay, that's good. Can I file all of them at the same time? For example, I'm filing for PTSD, and it's been approved, and it hasn't been approved, but I want to file for migraines and IBS secondary. Absolutely. You can. Now, you'll get mixed opinions on this, on whether you should or not, and I'll give you my answer after this. You can file whatever you want, whether it's an initial claim or a secondary on that initial claim, although it's not connected. In your case, migraines, IBS, secondary to PTSD. I assume that's what you're talking about. You can absolutely file that. And some people will say you should wait. Some people should say it doesn't matter. And here's what I say. If you have the evidence, submit the claims, even the secondary ones, okay? Now, if you have the evidence, it goes a long way. You'll see IMOs and DBQs definitely come into play when we're talking about secondary claims, especially things you can't really x-ray. And look at the cause, right? So you can't look at an x-ray and say PTSD causes this, PTSD causes that. That's when you really see IMOs and DBQs. Not that I'm recommending you get one, just food for thought, okay? If you're denied those secondary claims, it might be worthwhile to reach out to get an IMO and DBQ. And in fact, I would ask Dr. Sharma on June 1st, okay, which is next Thursday. Board certified psychiatrist, so he's capable of doing DBQs for PTSD. And you could just, I'm not saying get one from him. What I'm saying is ask him the question and get the psychiatrist answer. He will be able to answer that 1 billion times better than I can. Okay, let's get down. Man, this impromptu stream got some questions on it. Let's go ahead and answer these questions. Okay, I haven't really been paying attention. Here's one for you. What's up, Dan Barcina? Turned down for physicals. I think that's what that means, physicals. Hopefully not physicians. Now in Arizona versus California, there's no therapy available. Oh, maybe you did mean physician. A letter of support is a conflict of interest. Am I fucked? I'm definitely going to need some more context to this, right? Are you talking about physicians? Are you talking about physicals? What do you mean by PH or psychologist? I don't know. Okay. You're in Arizona now. There's no therapy available. A letter of support is a conflict of interest. Let me know what you're talking about, conflict of interest. What support letter are you talking about? Who's it coming from? Are you talking about getting the VA to write you a Nexus letter? Okay. I'm just kind of confused on your question, so definitely let me know. Keith, thank you very much. I appreciate that. Definitely appreciate that. Mike Lewis, I submitted a Nexus and DBQ from Dr. Sharma, 7 February. He recommended TDIU for PTSD. I haven't heard anything from the VA at all. Any advice? My advice, Mike, and you're not going to like it, is to sit back and wait. Okay, I know that sucks, but there's nothing can really happen. I'm hoping you don't need a CMP exam. See, February, March, April, May, June. It's been 4 months, okay? I would argue they would have scheduled a CMP exam within that 4 months. But let me know. When you are updated, definitely let me know on that. I want to know what that's like for you, okay? Sunny Lamb, I saw my DBQ, my CMP examiner submitted, okay, on TRICARE Online, so I assume you're active duty still? Or that CMP exam was at least when you were active duty, right? Doing a BDD claim. My wife submitted a buddy letter with way more information. My CMP examiner missed. Will I still get a 50? So your CMP, I'm just going to be real with you right now, okay? Your CMP examiner, don't give two shits about your lay statement. But the VA does. And so the VSR, the person that rates your disability, will see your statements, okay? The CMP examiner only sees what the VA wants them to see or what the VA sends them to review. And so in your case, it's not that the CMP examiner missed it. It's probably they didn't have access to it, okay? Now, that does not go to say that your buddy letter, your lay statement, isn't going to be looked at. It definitely is. And if it's not, then you know you can file a higher level review, all right? And you'll be able to see what evidence was reviewed in your decision letter, it'll list it out very clearly. But will you still get a 50% for PTSD? I have no idea what that looks like. It depends. So on your DBQ in section 1.4, there's little boxes that check, okay? The very bottom one says total occupational and social impairment, and then there's some other boxes above that. Let me know which box was checked, okay? Feel free to send me an email of that picture if you want to. I'm fine with that. My email, I'll go ahead and put it up, the CIVDIV@gmail.com. And I can at least give you better advice as to what your percentage will be if you can show me section 1.4, okay? All right, Tyra, last question. Do I get 2 ratings sciatic for radiculopathy? Yes, you do, okay? So you get radiculopathy left extremity, radiculopathy right extremity. And we're assuming, let me take this off here. I'm assuming you're going to be connected for lumbar strain and then radiculopathy, okay? But you can have a rating for lumbar strain. You can have a rating for left and right. So you have 3 different ratings. That's what I have personally. Lumbar strain with radiculopathy. It really sucks. And so sitting down right here, my legs will go numb. And by the time I get up to get some dinner, I'm going to walk like an absolute idiot for about at least 10 minutes. Okay, but we'll see. If so, I'll email you tomorrow. Thanks. I have no idea what you're talking about. Maybe you type something up that I didn't see. I don't know. But Harris, if you're still here, hit me up. Send me an email. I'm always on my emails, right? That's actually TikTok, but whatever. Okay. The TikToks. I'm not a big fan of TikTok, but I like posting videos every now and then. Okay. Kaylin, thanks. I'm claiming for sinusitis. Oh, let me read your past question. Can you get service connected without service diagnosis? Okay, there we go. Thanks. I'm claiming sinusitis and rhinitis. Only went to scent call for a cold. My attack will be that I have proof of my moldy barracks and attributing my issues to jet exhaust from deployments. Okay, that's not a bad argument. It's not a perfect argument, but it's not bad. My question is, and I'm assuming no, because you didn't bring it up, but have you deployed anywhere to the Middle East or Africa? Because if you have, then you meet the presumptive criteria under PACT Act, and those are super easy wins given a diagnosis, okay? I'm assuming you don't fall into that, though, because you didn't mention it. But if you do, let me know, and that's a whole other conversation. All right, Devontae Travis, all help is welcome. All right, well, I'm here. I'm here, brother. Met with primary PCP, and they have scheduled me for physical therapy for my knees and back, which is I'm filing for. Okay, already submitted claim, 3rd November. What's next? By the way, already submitted intent to file. Okay, so you submitted your claim for your knees and your back. I'm assuming left and right knee. You have a treatment plan for your knees and back, so obviously something's there. The other 2 things is what you need, okay? So 1, you need an in-service event. So complaints from your military records talking about your knees and your back. And then the second thing you need is the medical opinion. Now, you don't have to go out and get this, okay? The C&P examiner is going to review your service treatment records. They're going to look at your VA medical records. I'm assuming your primary PCP is through the VA. If not, through private healthcare. They will review those records. And then they will make the medical opinion on your knees and back being service connected. So what's next? You already submitted the claim on 3 November. Wait for your C&P exams. I'm hoping that you did actually submit the claim for your knees and back. If not, then go ahead and finalize that claim. Log on to va.gov. I tried to make a video to show people how to submit claims today. Just didn't work on hotel internet, so it'll have to wait. But log on to va.gov, finalize the claim, and then you have your C&P exams. If you finalize your claim on 3 November and you haven't had a C&P exam yet, I would start calling the VA and figure out what's going on. Michael Jefferson, yeah, exactly what USMC Big B said. If you don't file them at the same time, yep, exactly. I wouldn't say that is definitely good advice, no doubt. It is better for you to do it all in one, assuming you have the evidence to submit all of them right now. Okay, that's key. Del, let me go back up to what you had said. Okay, so still active duty, filed my claims, soon to be out. Did I star one? I didn't mean to star one. No, I didn't star one. It's USMC Big B. Hey, brother, thank you so much. I definitely appreciate that. 1775, right? Marine Corps, yut, hoorah. I definitely appreciate that, brother. Seriously. Thank you very, very much. Okay, back to Del. Dude, thank you, man. I never know what to say when that happens. I always feel awkward, but I definitely appreciate it. So waiting for CMP exams, but I'm getting AdCept honorably, 4 years, and not BDD, but I filed like 20 claims, took on a sick call, and I know I won't be getting paid right when I... Okay, and so now I'm confused because if you filed claims while active duty, it would have been a BDD claim, which doesn't matter what it's called. Basically, a BDD claim has to be filed within 180 to 90 days from your ETS or EAS, okay? And so now I'm wondering if you did file the claim. I'm not sure what that looks like for you. Regardless, let's just assume you did because that's what you said. The VA, you have 20 claims. That's a lot. You do have an AdCept pending. I want to know if you know what your official last day in service is, because you can't, a part of the BDD claim process is you can't submit those claims until your ETS and EAS is set in stone. And I think your admitted admin separation maybe obscures that date a little bit, okay? That's probably what's going on if I had to take a guess without knowing the full story. Okay. I got really sick, so Dark Thanian, hopefully I said that right. I got really sick in basic training after being in C8 gas chamber. Okay, that definitely, man, that gas chamber definitely sucks, and kind of gets better as you do it a lot. I've actually only done it twice, believe it or not, and I was in for 10 years. Okay. I have documented sinus and upper respiratory infection for 5 months, documented C file, service connected to question mark. It's going to be very difficult to link sinusitis and any sort of respiratory infection due to gas chamber. Okay. If that was the case, then every single veteran would be able to claim that, and it would be presumptive. And so I want to know if you deployed at all to the Middle East or Africa or any of the PACT countries. That'd be my first question. Probably not, if I had to assume, because you didn't bring it up. So let me know what that looks like. But I can tell you this. Connecting respiratory infections strictly due to a gas chamber without evidence is going to be, in my opinion, next to impossible. Okay. I wish they would give you tracking info on your claim at the login page as well, as if the condition is raised static or not. USMC Big B, we are on the same page here. Okay. We're absolutely on the same page. And I'll tell you what's crazy about the VA, and this is probably my number one gripe about the VA. And I usually try not to VA bash too much because it just, if you want to VA bash, go somewhere else, okay? I will say this, though. It is insane to me that you, me, all of us, can't access our records from the Veteran Benefits Administration. You go to a CMP exam, a medical professional gives you a diagnosis, they talk about your symptoms, they give their opinion, and yet, even if you weren't seeking healthcare for that, you could still have, if you had access to that right then and there, you could still bring it to healthcare and say, hey, here's my symptoms, it's already documented, can we go ahead and get treatment? It's just crazy that they kind of gatekeep information from us, our information. I don't care what the reasoning is, okay? That doctors sign it and we got PII to look, out of date system. It's insane to me. But that's my soapbox, really. Okay, let's tone it down a bit. 39 viewers for an impromptu live stream. Hey, it's not bad. It's a little late on the East Coast. It's midnight right now on the East Coast. That's where I'm usually at. Right now it's 6 p.m. for me, so I really can't complain. All right, Dan Barcina. The issue. Oh, let me look at your previous comment so I can kind of rope these together here. Okay, here's one for you. Turn down, yep, Arizona, California, no therapy, support conflict of interest. All right. The issue is mental health. I got one letter from LA VA. I've been diagnosed schizo effect back in early 2000. Whew. As a footnote in 03, I was terminated from California Science Center, state of California. Okay, I'm kind of confused on what your question is. It's probably a question linked to an opinion now that I read your previous comment. And that's where the conflict of interest comes into play. So the first red flag I see here, Dan, I'll be real with you, is a huge time gap. We're talking about the year of 2000 and 2003. That's 20 years ago, 23 years ago, okay? And so now there's a chronic and continuous thing that really comes to my mind first. Second is, what's your service records look like? Do you have complaints from your military service of your mental health condition? All right. Is it an event? Is it PTSD? Are we talking about a reoccurring thought? What are your symptoms? I want to know more. I can tell you with time gaps, you might want to consider an independent medical opinion for that. I would definitely reach out to Dr. Sharma. But before going down that route, here, you know what? I'm going to have to ask you a ton of questions. I want you to send me an email, which is going to be right here. The CIVDIV@gmail.com. Send me an email, okay? Because I'm still confused by this, but I definitely want to help you out. Let's take this thing off of here. All right. All right, use Big B for the radiculopathy. The thing that best helps me is first thing in the AM, I take a double dose of vitamin B complex. It helps a lot, won't fix. Oh, yeah. Muscle relaxers. So medicine puts me on my behind, okay? And I take muscle relaxers for my lower back. And once I pop one of those, it might not help radiculopathy. It just helps my entire body, okay? But prescription, those are prescribed, right? But absolutely. Oh, I just kicked the dang camera. Okay. How long after CMP does rating come out? Been a month and a half. Beanie to marble. Here we go. You're going to hate this answer, but no one knows. No one on this planet, not even the VA, can give you an accurate date, okay? On average, I think it's 122 days right now, maybe 102. But no one knows. It completely relies on tons of factors. Does the VA need more information? Was that a complete CMP exam? What does that look like for you? How many other exams do you have? How many other claims do you have open? Stuff like that. But it's been a month and a half since your CMP exam, so I'm hoping it should come soon. If I had to give a guess, okay, I'll give you an answer. I would guess within the month. Not within this month of May, but within 30 days. Nope. Nopers. Yeah, me either. Nope, for sure. Use Big B. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Oh, my discharge was 85. Mental issues started a couple years or less. Oh, yeah. You're definitely going to have chronic and continuous be a factor here. What is so I know you said 2000 and 2003, a long time ago. What is your evidence from when you joined to 85, and then from 85 to 2000, and then from 2003 to now? Those are my questions I want you to fill in the gaps for. Okay. Devontae Travis. I have the complaints on file from base and off base specialist while I was in. I'll finalize that claim. Oh, awesome. Yeah, for sure. It sounds like you have the in-service event, so definitely submit those. Antonio Ashley, what's up? Welcome to the show. Just submitted a claim yesterday. How soon can I submit another intent to file? Right now. So you finalize your claim. You could go ahead and open up the intent to file and go ahead and get that done. You at least, so it is May 23rd right now. You at least want to do it before the 31st, because then your back pay would begin in June, on June 1st. Okay. Speaking of June 1st, there it is. Where am I at? Okay, whatever. My hands don't work. Next Thursday, June 1st, 7 p.m. Eastern, Dr. Sharma is going to be on the stream. You definitely don't want to miss that. All right. It was a great stream last time. It'll be a great stream this time. All right. My feet would go numb while running, and I had to get acupuncture and hips rotated while deployed in 2 months in. That be considered apps, not an in-service connection, but an in-service event, okay, which is one of the boxes you need checked. So you need 3 things. In-service event, which is what you have. That's what that is. You need a current diagnosis, so you're going to have to be diagnosed probably by the CMP examiner, or if you have another one from the VA or your private healthcare, that would work too. And then the big one is the medical opinion, okay? The medical opinion relies on a lot of things, but for service connection, the in-service event definitely comes into play, which you have, okay? So without looking at all the evidence and just what you have here, I would definitely submit those claims. Scrap Guy, what's up? Welcome back. Definitely appreciate that. Oh, guys, we got another one, man. I always feel awkward when I do this. Keith, I definitely appreciate that, brother. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I never know what to say, but it definitely means the world to me. Okay, I definitely appreciate that. I will say this, and hopefully YouTube doesn't hear me because, YouTube. So YouTube takes 30% off the top. Okay, and so whatever 30% of $20 is, I'm gonna be honest with you, I'm using my calculator. I have no idea how to math, but that's $6. And so YouTube will take $6 from that, and then the 14 will go to the channel, right? And all money from the channel goes back into the channel. Just FYI. But I did due to popular demand, okay? I did create a Patreon. If you wanted to support the channel that way, that's much, much better. The rate is a lot lower. And so just keep that in mind. I don't want to link it. I'm not going to push it too hard. But the Patreon's on my channel, and I definitely appreciate that way. Okay. Anyways, back to Keith. Thank you very much. USMC Big B. Thank you very much. All right. Hey, hit the like button for sure. Okay. Can a peacetime veteran exposed to jet fuel file for PACT Act out in 89? Anyone can file for the PACT Act as long as they meet the presumptive criteria, okay? And speaking of presumptive criteria, I'll just go ahead and pull it up right now, okay? Let me do this real quick, and we can look at it. Share the screen here. Bada bing, bada boop, PACT Act. Okay, we should be looking at the same thing, I hope. All right, cool. Here's the PACT Act, all right? Actually, let me make it bigger so you can see better. And I gotta take this comment out. This is the PACT Act, okay? What's in the PACT Act? You can read this here. Just Google PACT Act. That's all I did. And then here we go. So here's the Gulf War era. And how do I know if I have a presumptive exposure? And here's the dates. They give you a date, time, and countries. And then here's a second date and time. So on or after 1990. This is on or after 2001. Right. And there's some more with the Vietnam era talking about being exposed to Agent Orange and stuff like that. So your question, which was in 1889, based off of that, that's not going to work. Okay. Under the PACT Act, at least. All right. Michael Jefferson. I already have 4 Nexus and DBQ for PTSD, migraines, diabetes, and sleep apnea. Also, tons of DBQs. Also, DBQs for chronic sinusitis, allergic rhinitis, IBS, tinnitus, diabetic neuropathy, and ED. Okay, awesome. Did you comment earlier? I want to know if you commented earlier just to make sure. Yeah, you did. Oh, so you had, okay, so you were the one that had 10 claims, file them all at the same time. You have DBQs. Just based off of you having DBQs, assuming they are complete, I would go ahead and submit all those claims, even the secondary ones that aren't connected yet. Personally, that's what I would do. UMC Big B, thank you very much. This is an impromptu stream, so yeah, please, that definitely support. I appreciate it. My VSO put in higher level reviews for increase for the sinusitis. Why is it not letting me do that? Oh, here we go. Okay, this is better. Okay, scrap guy, let me find your comment again. All right. My VSO put in higher level reviews for increase in sinusitis and rhinitis today that we talked about the last live we did. Good advice. Hey, awesome. I'm glad I could help. Increases are the easiest claims to put in for. You're going to have a CMP exam or an ACE review, okay? So we'll see. Orange, simplify, brother. Hey, I will say this, and I decided to do this last minute, but every year my family and I go to the Arlington National Cemetery. This is definitely impromptu, late notice, but I'm going to be there on Monday for Memorial Day. If you live in the DMV area or you're visiting Arlington National Cemetery, let me know. We can hang out, okay? Hang out at the cemetery. We can meet, talk a bit, talk about your claims. I don't care, whatever you want to talk about. I'll be there regardless. And so I know it's a very small chance that someone will come, but I think it would be cool to celebrate Memorial Day together. But awesome, orange. Okay. Diagnosis, everything. Okay, so you have diagnosis, you have DBQ, 6 months of evidence, private insurance, intent to file. I just wanted to front load. Hey, you, Michael Jefferson, you're ahead of the game. Okay, you're ahead of the game. So that's awesome. Good for you. I definitely love seeing it. Keep it going, man. Keep it going. All right, I did the toxic exposure registry, and the VA are now sending me to Gainesville, Florida for CMP with ARNP. I thought this was just for answering questions. I don't know if it's a CMP. You wouldn't have a CMP exam if you didn't file a claim, like a disability claim. You could have an appointment due to the burn pit registry. So, for instance, when I did the burn pit registry, answered a few questions, I had a telehealth appointment, answered the phone, answered a few questions, and then I had the option to make another appointment with my primary care if I wanted to. I assume that's what you're talking about here, right? If it was for a CMP exam, then you or someone at some point put in a claim for disability for compensation. I can tell you this: VA healthcare does not just file disability claims. That's not how it works. Keith, again, brother, thank you so much, man. Thank you, thank you, thank you. All right, thank you for helping past veterans and new veterans with VA claims process. Vanessa from New Mexico. Hey, Vanessa, awesome. I definitely like seeing fans of the show all the time, right? Vanessa comments on all my videos. I definitely appreciate that. Tin Meme, definitely a long-time fan of the show. Thank you very much for coming. Definitely appreciate it. Do you have a phone session and wanted to ask about your reconnected VSO organization and quick advice? So I do one-on-one meetings. You can send me an email at the CIVDIV@gmail.com. I'll go ahead and put that in the chat. The CIVDIV@gmail.com. Okay, I'll also put it up here for a few seconds. CIVDIV@gmail.com. I do one-on-one meetings, and that is completely independent of Del K. Graham. I volunteer for Del K. Graham, and I mainly make videos. I make content for their YouTube channel. And every now and then I'll log on their intake queue and try to help out as much as I can. Okay, I'm definitely bogged down with time. But if you want to talk about that, definitely hit me up. Doke Graham's Veteran Foundation is an accredited VSO. And they're very good, in my opinion. In my biased opinion, they're the best. What is Patreon? It's like YouTube. So Patreon, it's not like YouTube, kind of. Patreon is more for creators. What Patreon does is, what the use is, you can kind of compartmentalize content and have people pay. It's like a membership, okay? I'm not doing that. I am, but I'm not. And so I'm not putting VA content on there at all. I just wanted to give supporters a way to support the channel, not through YouTube, because YouTube does take a larger cut out of donations, which definitely sucks. And so the only thing I post on Patreon, I'll go ahead and pull up my phone right now. I post more personal stuff and centered around like my healthcare, my family, stuff like that. It's just more personal. So as you can see here, there's a photo of me and it talks about, some mental health stuff like that. But that's what it's for, completely outside of VA benefits. And I never want to charge for VA benefits. So that's why I'm kind of doing this option. I'm not expecting much at all, but it's there. It is an option, and I would definitely appreciate that. All right. You deserve it, brother. I don't think any of us would ever complain if you use some of the money for something. Oh, yeah. Hey, no. USMC Big B, thank you very much. I definitely appreciate that. I will tell you this, the streaming equipment and the chairs, desk, the laptop, this mic right here, all that stuff has an expense. I definitely appreciate that. Happy Ness. Hey, what's up? Welcome to the first live stream. I believe this is your first time. If I remember correctly, this is a new subscriber as of today, I believe. So welcome. Appreciate it. Kaylin, sorry, I was just saying no to being stationed in the middle. Oh, okay. On the note. Got it. Presumptive rhinitis. You said my attack was good but not perfect. How else could I approach it? I will have Nexus too. A Nexus is how you would approach it, okay? If you really wanted to slam dunk it, or get as close to slam dunking it. But yes, for sure. Scrap guy. Yeah, exactly. A Nexus way is just another way to support the channel outside of YouTube. All right, if you serve between 75 and 91, you can still file for exposure under Terra. Absolutely, you can. Okay, but the thing is on that, it's like you don't have to know you're gonna file for exposure under Terra and VBA. Okay, the VA will just do that for you. They're supposed to do that for you. If you don't, you just do a higher level review, duty to assist. Okay, but absolutely. Hey, Marines in the house, right? USMC Big B, orange for sure. Let you know how it goes. Oh, please do, Scrap Guy. I definitely appreciate that. Okay. The VA sent my husband to a vet center counselor, not psychologist. Okay. Can her information help my husband with an increase? He is combat veteran at 30%. A lot of lay statements with so much evidence. Do we need to get our own psychologist? Well, for DBQ. So I'll give you two options. Okay. One is what I would recommend. Submit the increase for anyways. Lay statements, because your husband's already service connected, I wouldn't even submit a lay statement, okay? Because it's a self-report and the VA doesn't care about self-reports. Now, if it was to be service connected, that's a little different story, but you're just going in for an increase. So you could simply file for the increase on va.gov. It's extremely easy. With that being said, okay, your other option would be to get a DBQ, and I wouldn't really go for a psychologist. I would go for a psychiatrist personally. Dr. Sharma will be here on June 1st, next Thursday. You can ask him directly. But again, I wouldn't really recommend a DBQ for an increase. I would just simply go for an increase, okay? Are those records going to be looked at for the increase? Yes, but the VA is more than likely going to send you to a CMP exam, and they are going to reevaluate the severity of your husband's symptoms anyway. That's the email. Don't forget it. Okay. Mr. Yodi, never put in a claim for it. On my appointment sheet, it says CMP exam, so I should go ahead, file a claim without diagnosis. Absolutely. right? I think it is weird. It says CMP exam. Personally, I wonder if that's an error. I'm not sure. I'd have to look at the documents. But if you haven't filed a claim for it, and you're likely to get a diagnosis, and it's service connected, or it's presumed service connection under PACT Act, I would 100% file that claim. Mr. Pink, okay, I like your profile picture. What's up? I'm 70% PTSD, but it feels like I should claim alcoholism because I can't sleep without it. But when I start drinking, I can't stop. My body gives up for the night. So, Mr. Pink, that's a pretty easy. You have two DWIs. Okay, where to start? Mr. Pink, I would not touch your PTSD rating because alcoholism is not a rated condition. It's a symptom. What's going to happen is the VA will recognize your addiction to alcohol, and it's just going to be roped under PTSD, and then you're going to still have a 70% rating, unless your alcoholism is so severe that it would increase your PTSD rating from 70% to 100%, and that's a serious mental illness, SMI, and at 100% rating for PTSD is really going to require some severe symptoms. Okay, one of those severe symptoms, or you are unable to work as a result due to your PTSD. Okay, now that's just one of them. What you could do is look at 38 CFR, and you know what? Let's go ahead and do that now. Let's see, how are we going to do? Oh, let me pull up 38 CFR real quick. There's a PACT Act page. Okay, so let's go to the Googles. Let's look at mental health, 38 CFR, ECFR. Here's exactly what I want everyone to do if you've never done this before. So this is the code of federal regulations. Scrolling down, here's how the VA rates mental health. And so right now, these are your symptoms, okay? And look at this, it says general rating. So all of these things, these have been removed, but all of these codes definitely fall under this right here. And if you're looking at 100% rating, maybe, okay, there's not many 100%ers for mental health alone. But if this is you, that's how it looks. It's total social occupational impairment, gross impairment communication, delusions, hallucinations, grossly inappropriate behavior, okay, maybe like senile, danger of hurting self or others. That's huge. If that's you, definitely take care of that. On the healthcare side, perform activities of daily living, time or place, memory loss, own occupation or own name, okay? Personal hygiene, that's huge. So those are just some symptoms of 100%. And if that's you, then I would go ahead and file it. If not, I wouldn't touch it at all. That's my opinion. All right, Sandy Sutter. What's up, Sandy? Hey there, just had a CMP exam with Optum Serve, I'm sorry, that's a new LHI company for dizziness and vertigo. Can I send a rebuttal to my regional VA office before they issue a decision? My CMP exam was early April 2023. Thank you. You absolutely can. I would do a personal statement in support of a claim. Okay, you know what? Let's go ahead, since I've got this open, let's go ahead and look at this right now. So just look at personal statement 4138. Okay. We'll share this tab instead. And so you just go ahead and download this form, download the form, bada bing, bada boom, and it comes up. That's a personal statement. Fill it out. You put in, rebuttal for CMP exam, and then whatever it is that you're going to say. And then you go into quick submit, okay? Quick submit VA, and I would upload it directly to quick submit. Click on this link that says access VA. It'll pop up. Then you go ahead and log on. I'm not going to log on because it shows some personal information, but you would log on. There's going to be a button that looks exactly like this quick submit button. And then you go ahead and submit that personal statement with whatever it is that you want to rebuttal. Okay, that's the easiest way to get information to the VA. Super quick, super easy. Happiness, tune in June 1st. That's what I'm talking about, Orange. That's what I'm talking about. Right, Mr. Yodi. Hey, yeah, definitely send me an email whenever you're ready. Fictionator, what's up, Clay? No Hawaiian shirt today. Thanks for all you do. My Hawaiian shirts are over there. I was just in a polo today. Just, I don't have that many Hawaiian shirts. But they are. I'm looking right at them. They're over there. No Hawaiian shirt. Actually, you know what? Give me a second. I'll be right back. This take me a minute. Okay, I'm back. I got the Aloha Friday every day here in Hawaii. Okay, there you go. Okay, quick question. I'm currently at decision review. Does that mean CMP soon, then a decision, or just a final decision? Just a final decision, okay? That means that the VA, one or two things. Either one, you lacked evidence and it was about 0, and the VA didn't see a cause to have a CMP exam. I hope that's not you. Or two, the opposite. You have all the evidence you need. An opinion can be made with your evidence, or the opinion's already in your evidence, and then the decision will be issued out shortly. Okay, I'm hoping you're number 2. Discipline equals freedom. All right. Thanks for your diligence and help. You got the perfect view for Sunset Magic Hour at your setup. Absolutely. Thank you. Definitely appreciate that. Yes, this is a work trip. Keep that in mind, right? I'm definitely not lucrative in my funds to go to Hawaii whenever I want. All right. I definitely don't think I can work with people or around people. Okay. So then you may have severe symptoms from that 38 CFR. And so if you do, definitely look at that. It might be worth talking to a medical professional first, building some evidence for your alcoholism and arguing that this prevents you from working. I would also, for 100% in PTSD, I would also recommend a DBQ from Dr. Sharma because 100% for PTSD is not the easiest thing in the world to do. All right. He'll be here next Thursday. You can ask him directly. He'll give you a better answer on that. And then you can go about that way. All right. Can you explain favorable findings and are they beneficial to your claim? Only received 10% for presumptive period. Absolutely. Okay. So a favorable finding is it's like a backhanded comment from the VA. That's how I would explain a favorable finding. You'll see favorable findings if you were denied, either denied a claim, denied a supplemental, denied an increase, whatever the case may be. A favorable finding is saying, hey, although this condition is not service connected, we still recognize that you have a diagnosis. And so basically it's the Veteran Benefits Administration way of saying, hey, you got a problem, you should go seek healthcare for it. That's pretty much what it's for. It also lets you know what you don't need if you were to appeal that claim. So every claim needs these 3 things, okay? You need an in-service event, a current diagnosis, and a nexus. If in the favorable findings, it says, hey, we did see complaints in your service treatment records. We do recognize that you have a current diagnosis. Those are favorable findings. And then in the denial, it'll say something about the medical opinion could not be made, okay, which is very common, believe it or not. And if that's you, then that's really when I would consider independent medical opinions, depending on what the condition is for and how much the condition would be worth if you're rated. Okay. My husband also has PTSD moments in every doctor appointment and gets very strange and doesn't make any sense. have to insist I'm with him or explain. Yeah, man, that is that definitely sucks. It's never good. This is my opinion. My opinion. It's never good when someone accompanies a veteran on a PTSD exam, because that can be very emotional, very heart-wrenching, and maybe just from a guy's perspective here, your husband could be holding back. Maybe. Not saying that's happening. My opinion, again, is from your perspective, I would write a lay statement, VA form 10210. Okay. You know what? We're already in the screen share mode. Let's go ahead and pull it up. VA form 21-10-10. That is a buddy letter or a lay statement. And you just hop on this bad boy here, download the form, and fill it out as requested. Okay, so it's lots of information to fill out, and then you say, my husband's. You don't talk about the symptoms. What you do say is, on this date, my husband, and then you would say did these behaviors, and you would basically be describing the symptoms. Okay. For instance, on this date, my husband woke up in a nightmare screaming, and he was punching the air, and he hit me a few times. That would be a statement that you could give in the lay statement. Okay. All right, Kaylin. Last question. My friend has service-connected elbow injury. He was diagnosed out of service with bipolar disorder. Should we try secondary bipolar use depression? No. With the evidence that I see here, claiming depression or bipolar from an elbow injury doesn't look good at first glance, depending on what the elbow injury is, okay? If your friend can't move their elbows or their arms at all, then that may cause depression. It's definitely going to, restrict their movement so much that it could cause them to be depressed. If that's the case, that's what I would go with. But without looking at evidence, I can tell you right now, it doesn't look too hot. Okay. Obviously, knowing the evidence would change my opinion for sure. Favorable find. Yep, for sure. I got a crash. Hey, use MC Big B. No big deal. No big deal. Awesome. That's right. You just had surgery. Okay. Speed of recovery. Godspeed. Take care. God bless. All right. Kilius. I know I butchered that name. I've been waiting since January of 23. Also, I've uploaded many proof of medical evidence while service. Also, a plus on my end is doing my claim with separation form active. Okay. I assume you mean you submitted a BDD claim within your 180 to 90 days out. If so, great. Okay. I believe you would be out of service now or close to it. January, February, March, April, May, June. Okay, so maybe. Let me know if you had any CMP exams, if you still are technically active duty, if you're on terminal, whatever that looks like for you. I'd never do it because of my family. I'm scared to say anything because I don't want them to take away from my safe place. I'm assuming you mean the alcohol, but I'd never do it because of my family, or you would never submit the increase for 100%. I'm not sure what you're talking about there. Either way, definitely it's a bad situation. That sucks, man. Okay. My advice to you, outside of VA disability, seek healthcare. Go to make an appointment with your primary care, let them know what's going on, and just seek the care that you need. I hope that helps in some way, shape, or form. All right, hey brother, just want to let you know, with your help, I've helped my dad get from 10 to 90. You can't see my hands right now, but they're like this. Awesome. Awesome, awesome, awesome. 10 to 90 is a huge increase, okay? Glad to hear, brother. Glad to hear. That's great. Even had to bump up claim, unfortunately, due to financial hardship with proof, so I'm very optimistic about it. Okay. Oh, okay, okay. Yeah, it sounds like, I'm assuming we're talking BDD claim for you. If not, let me know. I'll go ahead and add some more context to that. Ricky Roku, yes, my incident with back only 44 years ago, and they checked 2 months instead of 2 years because I could not remember the exact dates. That's probably why they gave me favorable findings, but it's SCON. I'll be honest with you, I have no idea what you're talking about. I have no idea. No idea. Look, give me some more context to that, if you will, and a question. If you want me to answer a question, I'll definitely help you out. It doesn't seem like you need help, though, because you have favorable findings. Oh, favorable findings. That's actually bad. That means you were denied, and they gave you favorable findings. What was the claim for? Let me know. Right. What's the VA claim for whole body pain, pain everywhere, and tiredness? Chronic pain, okay? Chronic pain is definitely there. Orange, if you're thinking about that, let's see the decision on your current claims first. But I don't want to get too personal with you, Orange, just because I know your situation. But I do think with your connected disabilities you have now, that definitely could be an option. Okay. You missed the one message before. Yeah, I definitely don't think I can work with people or around people. Oh, I see what you're saying. But I'd never do it because of my family. I'm scared to say. Yeah, healthcare, definitely for sure. Okay. I recently had a CMP exam with LSGS. Okay. The doctor went through the 2 DBQs with me, but my DBQs were for allergic rhinitis. How does it determine my percentage? So the DBQ is basically a very formal form that says, hey, here's how severe your symptoms are. So in the most literal sense, it will determine your rating. Now, I'll show you what that looks like. Very easy, okay? This is an easy one here. Let's go ahead and pull up, I believe we're on this form. Let's go to the Googles, okay? If you've never done this before, you definitely want to do this for your claims. And so you're looking at, I believe it was rhinitis, correct? Let's see, rhinitis, allergic rhinitis, absolutely. Allergic rhinitis, okay? Rhinitis, 38 CFR, ECFR. Go ahead and click that for respiratory conditions. I'm going to use Control F, look up rhinitis. You'll see how rhinitis is rated. Allergic rhinitis, code 6522. There we go. There's other types of rhinitis. This is you. And so you have polyps, which is the 30%, excuse me, or you have without polyps, but greater than all this obstruction, blah, 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 blah. And so you're either getting a 10 or 30 for chronic rhinitis, okay? And so that's how rhinitis is rated. Pretty simple. There's 2 ratings, 10 or 30, assuming you have service connection, which it is PACT Act related. So there you go. LA, you have a question. 0% for migraines. I need to increase it. This is a great question. I've helped many veterans increase their migraines. And so one, there's 2 types of evidence I always recommend veterans to get for migraines. The first one is any kind of medication. If your migraines are severe enough, talk to your VA primary care, your private care, whoever you want to go with, and get medication. Or request medication, let them know your migraines are getting worse and you need some help. A very common migraine medication prescribed by the VA is sumatriptan, okay? And so now you have documented evidence that your migraines have gotten worse. You take medicine, XYZ. And then, And then I would do a personal statement, and that also includes a migraine log. We'll get there in a second. I'll do a personal statement and talk about your migraines getting worse, talk about you being prescribed medication, how often you take the medication, how often you experience migraines, what your symptoms are when you experience migraines, if that migraine is prostrating or not. Okay, I'm assuming it's prostrating. And then within that statement, you would also submit a migraine log that goes back 6 months. That's what I recommend. You can do less than that if you want. I would recommend 6 months showing your migraines per month, okay? And then I would submit your recent records from the VA or private healthcare facility, along with your personal statement, 4138, and then submit the increase. Easy peasy, upload it via quick submit. Yeah, man, you got this stuff down. Oh yeah, Sandy, I definitely appreciate that. Okay, but yes, I read a lot. I've learned a lot. I've been doing this for almost a year now. Okay, on my YouTube birthday, we're gonna have to do some kind of celebration. Almost at 10K though, so I'm definitely gonna celebrate that. Looking forward to that. Okay. Been separated from active duty since August of last year. Okay, it's definitely not a BDD claim then. Just last update for myself, decision review. So waiting. Oh yeah, so you're gonna get decisions on that. You're still within your 1 year mark, and so for you specifically, what I really want you to understand is before August of this year, whatever it is you plan on submitting, you need to submit those claims once you get this decision back. Whether it's an appeal, you need to get more evidence, whether you have more stuff you want to claim, whatever it is, do it now or do it before August, okay? There's tons of reasons for that. Some conditions have a 1 year presumptive, like tinnitus. Asthma it still has a presumptive, but it's kind of overshadowed by the PACT Act now. And so regardless, submit your claims. It's a more of a best practice. Submit whatever it is you want to claim prior to August of this year. All right. Sorry, how to use another phone. By favorable findings for PTSD. Had a few others. I'm assuming it was for a diagnosis, but not service connection. Harris, send me an email. Okay. Send me an email to CIVDIV@gmail.com. Depending on why you were denied, I definitely want to see the decision letter. But depending on why you were denied, I might recommend getting an IMO and DBQ from Dr. Sharma. He's also coming here next Thursday at 7 p.m. Eastern. You can ask him directly if you want to, but he is a board-certified psychiatrist. And when it comes to PTSD specifically, the VA is very particular as to who can examine PTSD, okay? And he's one of them, basically. He's the top dog. Okay. LG, one more thing. Oh, yeah. LG, ask whatever it is you want to ask, okay? If it's okay, can I send you my uncle's decision letter? He was recently denied a few things and so have things deferred. He's Purple Heart Vietnam vet. Absolutely. Absolutely, LG. Send me an email, whatever it is you want to send me. The more context I have, the better. If in a perfect world, you would send me everything he's service connected for, everything he's been denied, along with a decision letter, and then we can go ahead and go from there. All right. Husband had childhood asthma before it got worse, much worse with burn pit presumptive. It says diagnosed after service or made worse by. Yeah, I would absolutely submit the claim. You have PACT Act. You said earlier your husband has combat-related PTSD, so I'm going to assume he at least meets the criteria for PACT Act, given those countries could cause combat-related PTSD. So making that assumption, submit the claim, right? All right, only went back 2 months. SCON was for short service connection, okay? Tia Moore, my lack of sleep worked in my favor tonight. Hey, what's up, Tia? Awesome. Here at some point, I'm going to grab some dinner. But welcome to the show. Ask me any question that you want, particularly about the VA. But you can ask me whatever you want. I don't care. I'm just hanging out in my hotel room, bored. I'm on a work trip. We're not doing much of anything. Awesome. Hey, great info. I appreciate it. I appreciate you. Thanks for coming. Thanks for asking. Without questions, there's no life. Okay. Is a actual DBQ for migraines better than a migraine log? Absolutely. Okay. I don't know what you mean by actual DBQ, but basically, let's talk about statements. This is the last question. No one's really asked anything yet. So when it comes to statements, if there was a totem pole of the things the VA cared about, okay, It goes like medical opinions from medical doctors, and you have like psychiatrists, MDs, DOs. Then you have like physician assistants, nurse practitioners, stuff like that. Then you have self-report, which is all the way down here. A self-report is exactly what it sounds like. You self-reported it. So you can't diagnose yourself. It has to come from a doctor. That's basically what a migraine log is, or a personal statement, or a lay statement. It's a self-report, okay? Not saying it doesn't carry any weight, but the weight it carries as compared to everything else is relatively small. But a DBQ is 1,000,000 trillion % better than a migraine log. Okay, 100%. Okay. Woo. Someone commented. I had a very spicy comment on my video I'm reading right now, and I replied with a long one, and it just got replied back to, so I'm going to have to take a second to read that one. But let's get to this first. All right. The VA just asked for additional information about my PTSD claim, even though I had a mental health C&P exam. Will I be required to submit a psychology therapist report to have a buddy statement? No, you're not required to. If you have a buddy statement, I would upload it via Quick Submit if you haven't already done that. To show you what that looks like, I'll just hop on right now. So here's 38 CFR. Let's go to the Google so we have a fresh start. We'll look at Quick Submit VA. Okay. Go ahead and click on this link that says VA Quick Submit or Access VA. And boom, this is Quick Submit. Okay. You can log in. I'm not going to log in because there's some personal information that pops up immediately. But you're going to see a button that looks like this right here. Once you do log in, click that, and then you could upload your lay statement, buddy letter via that way. As far as additional information, the VA sends a ton of information or a ton of letters out. And one of the commonalities is them asking for additional. If you have any additional information, send it now. That's probably what the letter was, so I wouldn't sweat it too hard. Beautiful background. Where's it at? So I'm on a work trip right now. I travel for work. I am in Hawaii, and so that's this right here is some hotel. This right here is the beach. Okay, it's Waikiki, so I'm staying in Honolulu right now. All right, I just recently sent you an email. I'm looking forward to your response. How can I receive 100%? I'm at 90 as of right now. Awesome. Okay. If you want a video to prepare yourself, Captain Africa, that's a hilarious name. Let me send you a video because I'm going to ask you for the exact same information in there. But we can definitely have some email, maybe even a one-on-one meeting, depending on what we're talking about here. But the title of the video is actually how to actually go. Come on, computer. How to actually go from 90% to 100%. And it talks about my meetings I have with veterans. So definitely take a look at that, okay? I'll post it in the comments in the chat right now. Take a look at that. Basically what I'm going to ask you for or what your service is connected for, what you're denied for, what your major deployments are, and your years of service, okay? And then we'll go ahead and look at your disabilities and kind of look at increases. We'll look at secondaries. We'll look at appealing maybe. And then we'll also make sure that you claimed everything that you potentially could have. All right, bro, I was diagnosed with L5-S1. Is this claimable? Absolutely, okay? I think that you're talking about your back condition, okay? Yes, it will be pyramided under, if you have lumbar strain or cervical strain, depending on what that looks like. It could be pyramided together with your other back claims, so it just depends. I know you sent me an email with everything you are connected for. That was a while ago. I completely forgot, but yes, you could. After decision review, it's a long wait after that. It's been moving quick since filing for financial hardship. Oh, yeah. So you already filed for financial hardship. You have decision review. It's not, I wouldn't say a long wait, especially for you in your circumstance. So you should be receiving a decision pretty fast, relatively fast. So it should be pretty soon. Okay. I would say within 2 weeks. That would be my guess. I hope. All right. Hello, Clay. I was diagnosed with an enlarged prostate with 99 before I retired in 2000. Now I have prostate cancer. Can you claim this? Yes, you can. Absolutely. Submit the claim. And especially if you were diagnosed in service. Absolutely. So you have the in-service event. I'm assuming you have the current diagnosis of cancer right now. You would need the medical opinion for that. So just definitely submit the claim. Oh, yeah. Seriously, bro, so glad to see you jumped out. Love the chats. Yeah. Sometimes I just get bored and I'll do a live every now and then. I do try my best to answer as many emails as I can. I got down to 0 today and it's back up to like 25 already. And so whatever, I'll get to everyone's emails at some point. Okay. Does letter of intent get canceled when you file a supplemental claim? It depends. Okay. Is that supplemental claim within the year time frame? If so, then no. Is that supplemental claim past that year time frame, and then will it burn the intent to file? Yes. So it depends on your supplemental from the denial. Is it within that 1 year window where you'll receive back pay or not? That's the glaring question there. That one-on-one would be perfect. I'll watch the video. Be right back. Yeah, definitely watch. I mean, you're probably not here right now. Watch the video. Come back. The meeting will go exactly as it is in that video. Okay. Why is it so hard to get a rating for sleep apnea? I filed sleep apnea as Secretary of Mental Health. Do I need a Nexus? Is my computer going to die? Yes, it is. Okay. I'll tell you exactly why. So when it comes to mental health, okay, when it comes to sleep apnea, regardless of what the internet tells you, mental health does not cause sleep apnea. And so within the VA's right, and not even the VA, within the CMP examiner's right, they have cause to deny that claim because there's, in the most literal sense, there's not a link of causation from mental health to sleep apnea. Okay? Regardless of what anyone else says, it's not there. That's what makes it difficult to win a sleep apnea secondary claim to mental health. Does it happen? Absolutely, and here's how. It's because it's all correlation. And so, generally speaking, an easy sleep apnea secondary claim is a veteran that has that's been to Afghanistan or Syria or Somalia or Iraq, okay, has been exposed to particles in the air. Basically, the same literature that supported the PACT Act is supporting sleep apnea claims secondary to mental health, okay? And so now we have a veteran that has mental health, which is correlation. They have deployments to places that messes up your breathing, okay? That's a dumb way to say it. And so now we have these correlating factors, and if both of these things are saying this, a medical doctor could make the opinion that this sleep apnea is secondary to mental health. Okay. Do CMP examiners do that? They're supposed to. Okay. And so in my opinion, yes. Right. And for you, LA, you're definitely going to want to talk to this guy, Dr. Sharma. He's a board certified psychiatrist. He writes sleep apnea claims for secondary to mental health. I would definitely get his opinion, get his independent medical opinion and DBQ. And then you could go ahead and file the supplemental. Okay. Ralph Lagman. I know I butchered that. Okay. Ralph Lauren. Let's just call you that. Going to file sleep apnea secretary. There we go. Right. Can or should file both at the same time? To answer your question, you can file both at the same time. The answer to this is, what does your medical evidence suggest? If you have the medical evidence, file now. If you don't, do the intent to file, get the medical evidence, and then file. All right, Happiness. Thanks for doing this. Was about to switch to Netflix. Appreciate your knowledge time. Caring for people. Hey, I appreciate you. I appreciate your husband. Okay. Definitely reach out to me via email if you need more help. I'm glad to help. I'll be here. My laptop is going to die soon, I think. Regardless, I'm going to get some dinner at some point. But yeah, till then, I'll hang out. I'll chill. Okay. I'll chill. Actually, let me look at my YouTube notifications and see if I need to delete any comments. Half my day is spent looking at comments. Okay. Let's see. This guy said a lot of times you're more down the other process. Other guy, that's why I love. Oh, dude, that's heartwarming. I can appreciate that. Kenneth, you've warmed my heart. Heartwarming. Thank you so much. A little tagline. Okay. I believe we had another comment. Let's go ahead and answer that. All right. Are there instances where you can be granted for more than the claim examiner certified? Been using sick. June will be my deadline. Late June. Thanks. Absolutely. Okay. A good example of this is lumbar strain. A part of the back DBQ is radiculopathy. And if the examiner diagnoses you with radiculopathy and makes the opinion that it's connected to your lower back, the VA should add those two radiculopathy left, radiculopathy right claims to your initial claim. It's completely situational. All right. When it comes to TMJ, is it a good secondary to PTSD? Absolutely, for sure. It's more so the anxiety in PTSD. But yes, and so if you have a diagnosis, you could absolutely claim that, especially if a part of that PTSD is severe anxiety or panic attacks, for instance. Is there a study for a link between chronic pain with sleep apnea? I'm not sure. I'm not sure on that. But you could definitely look up some medical journals, some peer-reviewed journals on that if you wanted to. I don't know as of right now. All right. What exactly is severe effect? I don't know what you're referencing. I don't know, Happiness. Let me know. Give me some more context on that, and I'll definitely give you an answer. What exactly is severe effects? Yeah, clarify that for me, and I'll give you an answer. All right. I don't have my buzzer with me. It's my mustache is going crazy right now. All right, let me just answer this comment real quick, and then I'll go back to the questions. Bada bing, bada boom. Okay. Oh, flatten. What is the flattened effect? In reference to what? You're talking about kind of like stalling out for mental health, maybe? I'm assuming that's what you mean. It's kind of like a recurring cycle, right? You're so depressed and you have all these tasks to do, but you're so depressed and now you're overwhelmed, but you're depressed so you can't do them. So these tasks stack up and they stack up and they stack up. And now you kind of get in this cycle and then it kind of just flattens out, right? To where your depression is literally keeping you from going about your day-to-day activities, right? That's one version of the flatten effect. I assume that's what you mean. It's most common, but let me know. Antonio, what's up? What's the easiest already service-connected disability to secondary sleep apnea? I'm going to say sinusitis, okay? Anything within the respiratory that allows you to not breathe with your nose, okay? So allergic rhinitis, sinusitis, stuff like that. Mental health is up there, okay? Definitely mental health is up there, but it's not as strong as sinusitis and rhinitis. Mental health would be another one for sure. I have seen, and this is in my opinion rare, I have seen sleep apnea connected to tinnitus, okay? That's more of the like an ear, nose, and throat doctor. You would want to see them and get their opinion on that. But definitely sinusitis, rhinitis are your top ones. Mental health, and I guess tinnitus. Okay, there are other ones. That's just off the top of my head. With your one-on-ones, do you call the veteran? Would I need to put my phone in another email? No. So it's off of. Let me show you if I don't want to share anyone's personal. Okay, so this is an appointment that I had open today that no one took because I'm in Hawaii, and so it's just a Google Meet meeting. And so when I don't have any openings now, but I will next week. So when you schedule a meeting with me, you'll be given a Google Meet link, and it's just a link. You can answer on your phone. You can answer it on a laptop. Doesn't matter where. You can do video and audio. You can just do audio, no video, whatever you're comfortable with. I'll work around, and that's how it is. And so no cell phone numbers. And really, that's not just to protect you. It's also to protect me, okay? Because if I gave my cell phone number out, I'm not lying to you guys. I get so many emails. It's insane, okay? I do my best to answer every single one of them constantly all throughout the day. And if I gave my cell phone number out, I'd basically have to get a new cell phone number, okay? So it definitely protects you, definitely protects me, but I use Google Meet, okay? I actually pay to use Google Meet. And so I do one-on-ones for free, and I pay for the service to make a calendar on Google Meet. All right, during my recent migraine CMP exam, or the examiner said the memo for my shows 2 weeks of missed work. Is that enough for 50% rating? I want to know, yes. The bigger factor is what is the time frame of prostrating migraines? Meaning, is it 2 to 5 or more per month and you're missing work? That's what I really want to see for 50% migraine. Just depends. Donald D, can you explain sleep apnea to multiple things? And sinusitis or asthma, sinusitis. Absolutely. Asthma, sinusitis, rhinitis. Throw that in my last conversation. Respiratory issues are definitely linked to sleep apnea, okay? And you could if you have a diagnosis for sleep apnea, you could probably submit that claim secondary without an independent medical opinion, okay? Now, we're talking about mental health. That's a different story. I always recommend an independent medical opinion for sleep apnea for mental health, okay? But yeah, that's there's really nothing to explain there. I'm not educated from a medical doctor perspective to speak on medical literature, but from a veteran perspective, it's there. I know it's there. It can be connected, and it has been in the past many times. All right, Orange says they put out statement today stating they are 400,000 behind because of PACT Act claims. Absolutely. Orange, I'm glad you brought that up because we were kind of talking about that at the beginning of the year, and that's kind of died out. But absolutely, man, PACT Act claims have been crazy, okay? Crazy. Kaylin says, I'm already service connected for sleep apnea at 50%. Could my sinusitis and rhinitis could have more validity since my laptop's going to die? Okay, guys, I'm going to answer these last few questions before my laptop dies. All right. More validity. Hopefully this makes sense when I'm asking. It does, okay? I'm assuming you already are service connected for those, and you're asking if your symptoms have gotten worse. If so, submit the increase. If you're not service connected, that would be more correlation that you have those, assuming no PACT Act. If you have PACT Act, submit the claims. Okay? Understand, I look forward to meeting you. I'm going to have to go soon before my laptop dies because I got to end the broadcast. All right. I'll stop at Beanie to Marble. Definitely mentioned to the examiner my personal statement and letter from my wife said all 3, 2 to 5. Oh, yeah. It sounds like 50% to me. Submit the increase or appeal depending on what that time frame looks like. It's to me, it's a pretty easy win. All right. Beanie to Marble. What does VBMS system VSOs use to get claims update stand for? Veteran Benefit Management System. I believe that's what it's called. Let me get services. Yeah, Management Benefits, Veterans Benefits Management System. Oh, it is system. I was right the first time. Okay. VBMS. I don't have access to VBMS. And quick disclaimer, people think I'm a VSO. I'm not. I volunteer for an accredited VSO. I make videos for an accredited VSO. That's about it. Okay. How do you become a VSO? You can volunteer at your local one, right? You can you can become a VSO through Delcate Graham, or you can become a county VSO through your county, right? You'll have to take a test. They'll do a background check, all that great stuff, and then you can become a VSO, either paid or volunteer. I'm only being quick right now because I have 9% on my battery left. I want to end this broadcast. Guys, thank you so much for coming to this impromptu live. I appreciate it, and have a good one. I'll see you next Thursday, June 1st, 7 p.m. Eastern. Be there.